Hi everyone, this is Leah Lawson. Today I am joining in on a collaborative blog hop between Pinkfresh Studio and Wow Embossing Powders. I have created this sweet wedding themed card using some of the newest and previous released products from Pinkfresh Studio, along with a couple of embossing powders from Wow. I knew when I saw that Merry and Bright Toy Shop storefront die that I wanted to create it for something other than Christmas. So I went through all of my Pinkfresh Studio stamps and goodies and found some things that would allow me to turn it into a wedding themed card. You'll see that I found a sentiment from one of our newer stamp sets called Bloom, and then the cake image from our Itty Bitty Elements stamp set, and some really beautiful florals from the Floor 1 stamp set, which is a hugely popular Pinkfresh Studio stamp set, and then one tiny little element from Sweet Treats. I paired them with a couple of embossing powders from Wow Embossing. The first one I used is called Taffeta Pink. It's this really beautiful light pink. And then the other one I picked was Pearl Gold Sparkle, which is just this lovely shade of gold. I started the card by die cutting the storefront die 4 times from heavyweight white cardstock. You don't have to do this 4 times if you don't want to. You could definitely pop it up on foam, but I do love the added dimension that using the 4 pieces of cardstock gives it. So you can really do it either ways. Then I layered it together with some two-way glue. And then I went ahead and I cut a piece of cashmere cardstock in half and put it into my MISTI. That is going to be my top folding card at some point, but I didn't fold it yet so that I could layer the storefront die on top of it and then place those first 2 stamps that I need to heat emboss to become basically the hanging pieces inside of the windows. One is a little shelf, one is technically a cake topper, but I chose to make it like a hanging rack for a cute little dress. So I embossed those, and then I proceeded to stamp all of the different images that I planned on using for my card front. So when I do cards, I like to do each section at a time. So like I try to get all of the stamping done at one time, all of the die cutting done at one time if I can. That's not always possible because sometimes you need a couple of pieces before you maybe die cut out your stamped images. But I like to do things in sections so that I don't feel like I'm all over the place. So as you can see, I stamped all of those images, and then I proceeded to continue on stamping the sentiment directly to that storefront die. So I just used the floral stamp because I knew I was going to put one of the floral accents there. So I used that floral to position where the congrats would go. And I stamped and heat embossed the word congrats in that taffeta pink embossing powder from Wow. And it's super pretty. It's probably hard to tell in the video, but there's some kind of larger chunks of that pink glitter. And it just is really, really whimsical and sweet. I did the smaller part of the sentiment. I just centered it right directly underneath the heat embossed congrats. And then I very lightly stamped it in some VersaFine ink. It's a very small, thin stamp set, so you don't need a lot of pressure, and it stamps beautifully. So with all of the stamping done, it was time to start coloring in all of my stamped images. So off camera, pardon me, let me get back to this. I'm using my Pinkfresh Studio liquid watercolors to color these things in. For the florals, I'm using bubblegum and clementine, which I actually mixed together off camera, and it turned into this really beautiful pink corally pink. Pardon me. It looks quite a bit more orange on the video than it actually is in real life, and I think you'll actually see further in the video once they're dry that it definitely is this more like beautiful corally pink. And then for the leaves, I paint them mostly in key lime first. I definitely water it down a lot. One thing about our liquid watercolors is they are highly pigmented. So if you are wanting super vibrant colors, then you would definitely just use them as is. I wanted them to be a little bit lighter, so I just use plenty of water before I actually go about and put any of the actual watercolor paint to my paper. So I felt like the leaves needed a little bit more of a pop. So I then took some Emerald City, watered it down quite a bit as well, and then just added a little bit into the lines that you'll see inside of those little tiny leaves. So then I proceeded to finish watercoloring the cake. It didn't take much. It was just a little bit on the florals on top. So I wanted to actually add some gold to the cake. So I colored the cake plate, in some Gonzai Tombi Starry colors. And then after that, I just proceeded to die cut out all of the stamped images with their coordinating die. So at this point, it was time to start putting the card together. So I put that storefront layer, I used some 2-way glue and just layered it to the front of the top folding card. Off camera, I did actually put it underneath something that was a little bit heavy for just like a minute in order to really get that adhesive to stick permanently. And then it was time to start layering all of the fun stamped accents to the front. I popped up the cake and both of the floral accents with some foam dots. The floral accents, I actually only popped up a portion of them, and then you'll see I add in some mixed media adhesive to the bottom so that just a little tiny portion of that floral is actually popped up on the foam tape. So you'll see that I actually stamped and painted a door, and I thought I was going to use it, but in the end, it just didn't really fit. It wasn't elegant enough, so I left it out, kept it. I'm sure I'll use it later. I knew I wanted to make a dress to put in that right store window. So what I did is I just tied a knot at the top of some white tulle, which became the top of the dress, and then fluffed out the skirt. And it just was this really super easy way to make this like whimsical and cute wedding dress. And I'm just really excited with how it turned out. It looks perfect, and it's exactly how I envisioned. I always think it's really fun when something turns out exactly how you think it would. So then I added some shimmer to all of the stamped florals with my Tonic Aqua Shimmer pen. If you know anything about me, you know I love shimmer. So it's pretty much a given. If I've got something stamped that's florally or even not florally, I'm going to add some shimmer to it. And then finally, what I do with all of my cards, my signature accent, I added my iridescent jewels tucked here and there. As you can see, I tuck some of them underneath the florals and then out and about so that it's just a little bit of added extra shimmer and bling that I love. So that is the cute little wedding shop card that I have for you today. As you can see, I did add a couple more jewels right after the sentiment because that area just felt a little bit blank. You can get all of the blog hop details on my website at leahlawsoncreates.com. There are prizes to be won, fun to be had, and tons of inspiration, so we would love for you to hop along. I'd love for you to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it and subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss out on any content in the future. Now that I've got my new computer up and running, there's going to be a lot more. So thank you for watching my video today. I hope that you love my card, and other than that, I hope you just have a wonderful day.